Good afternoon and welcome to today's updates on the 2025 Medicare changes. If you're confused by Medicare and the changes, you're not alone. I'm here to help you ease your mind, walk you through this, explain some of the changes for 2025. And if you want to reach out to me for help on what to do for next year's plans, want to get advice from me, I'll be glad to do it. I'm here to help you, and we could schedule that for later. But let's jump right into it. First of all, there's so many different acronyms in the Medicare world. It really is crazy. You don't have to learn them all. A few of these might pertain to your personal scenario. If they do, if you have a question, reach out to me. I'm going to try not to talk into the lingo or use all the abbreviations. So I'm going to try to make this simple for you. Strictly educational day. I'm here to help you understand Medicare and what is changing for 2025. So my name's Tommy Overton. I'm with Overton Insurance Agency. I own the agency, and I've kind of labeled the upcoming 2025 as the year of change because there are very significant changes, and it may affect you significantly. It may affect you just a small amount, and it may not affect you at all. Kind of depends on your scenario, what plans you're on, what prescriptions you're on. So let's jump into it. First of all, I just want to let you know who I am. Tommy Overton. This is my wonderful family. I am the only male in the family. Wife Jennifer of 26 years. She's a public school teacher in Conway High School for 20 going on. She's in her 28th year. Daughter Katie is graduated college early. She is also going to be, or not going to be, she is a teacher at Conway Public Schools as well. Daughter Caroline is a junior at Conway Public Schools, likely going to be a teacher as well, following in her sister's and her mom's footsteps. So, um, and our lovely dog Goldie. She's been with us for several years now. We think she's about 15 years old, but this is our Overton family. Just want to let you know that I am a real human being. I am here in Arkansas to help, and I can help in many other states around Arkansas as well. So, again, Tommy Overton. I am a lifelong Arkansan, grew up in Hope, Arkansas. I've been in Conway, Arkansas since 1991. I am licensed in insurance since 2003. I've helped with Medicare, health insurance, life insurance. Also do some safe money retirement accounts. That means no risk. So reach out to me later if that may interest you. I've also at one time in my insurance career for 12 years, I ran a sales division as a national sales director for a publicly traded life insurance company out of Salt Lake City. And that we did that over 30 states. Had a lot of training or traveling, just kind of wore on me a little bit, missing some family events, missing some the daughter's events and school events, and they were big into dance. And so it's kind of got tired of traveling a little bit. So I came back 2022, uh, got back into my own thing that I've done that I did prior to that, which is Medicare, health insurance, life insurance, safe money accounts. Jumped right back into where I was here locally. I'm here to help local Arkansans and anyone surrounding states. I mean, Zoom and internet has dramatically changed this entire world and landscape, insurance landscape. So we can do this over Zoom. We can do this over phone calls now. So don't have to be face to face anymore. But be quite honest, I still prefer face to face. But I help you anywhere. Overton Agency, we have been accredited with the Better Business Bureau, something we're proud of. That just means we are doing business the right way. So that said, all about Overton Insurance. What we are here to do is inform, guide, coach individuals and families through the Medicare, health, and life insurance markets to provide you with peace of mind and clarity at an affordable premium. I've had my own health issues. I've had open heart surgery. I have had a stroke in February 19th, 2023. Remember it vividly. So I've had my health issues. I understand the importance of good quality insurance. I truly believe because I had good quality insurance, I wasn't worried about the money side of it, which means I truly believe that actually helped me mentally heal quicker and better and fully recover from the stroke. You might hear me stutter a little bit. That's probably remnants of the stroke, but let's move on. Let's get into this. You came here to learn about Medicare, and that's what we're going to do is jump into this. First of all, we're going to talk about how to avoid mistakes and penalties in Medicare. There's so much confusion with Medicare. Penalties basically enroll on the proper time. If you don't know what those are, that's not what we're talking about today, but we're here to help you with that. We can walk you through it. Reach out to us with your questions. We'll get you the answers that you need. And also get help. That's what I'm here today. Whether you want to move forward with me or not, get help. Don't just talk to a telemarketer over the phone, and be careful. What I mean by be careful is you've probably seen some of these ads on TV. That is Mr. Dynamite himself. Let me move my picture there. Joe Namath. These are some of the older commercials, but there's been some new revised ones. Usually they're branded now. They're either branded with one of the big names like United Healthcare, Humana. Um, Many of those is who you see on the TV now, but there's also some agencies doing it on their own. Be careful, is my point here. Particularly just a telemarketer calling you. A lot of times what they're going to do is when you pick up and say hello, they're going to say, are you there? Can you hear me? Your natural reaction is to say yes. I want to ask you not to do that, because what I have personal experience with some of my clients is they'll say yes to that, not knowing what's going on, not thinking about it. And all of a sudden they talk a little bit, and before they know it, they've given out their name, they've given out their date of birth, they've given out their Medicare number. I would advise you not to give out your Medicare number over the phone unless you absolutely know who it is, because people can actually change your plan. And what's happened is they can kind of butcher that recording. Even if you didn't agree to enroll, they can butcher that recording to make it sound as if you did enroll. So be careful. Only give out your Medicare number and your date of birth and your social to someone that you know and trust. If someone's calling you and it just starts off with hello, are you there? That's probably a telemarketer. That's clue number one. Be careful is my point. All right, so next, just real quick on how you become Medicare eligible in case you're not. 10 years of work service, which that means breaks down to 40 quarters. So that could be a stop and go, stop and go. You could have worked a quarter here for 6 months there, 10 years here, whatever the case might be, 10 years total or 40 quarters total where you pay taxes into the Medicare system. Qualifying events is when you're turning 65, going on disability for 2 years, and receiving Part B Medicare, coming off of group coverage, working past 65, end-stage renal, and there's one or two other scenarios. Essentially, that's how you become Medicare eligible. If you're here today just looking for the changes for 2025, I'm assuming you're either already on Medicare or you're already aware of this and know how you become eligible and you're getting ready to go on to Medicare. So quick review there. Let's talk about original Medicare as a refresher, just real quick. Original Medicare has two parts, Part A and Part B. Part A is basically your inpatient, whether that's a hospital or a skilled nursing facility, but it's inpatient. Could also be like inpatient hospice. Part B actually has two parts to that. That is the basically outpatient and anything that's not inpatient. You really want to think about it that way. So Part B will cover doctor fees, clinic visits, treatments where it's not inpatient. So really anything on Part B there is outpatient. Just think of it that way. Parts A and B combined is what's known as original Medicare. Now, there are still some gaps in original Medicare, and which breaks down at the bottom screen here. Medicare roughly pays 80%, you pay 20%. And I can tell you, actually, if you go inpatient at the hospital because of Part A deductible, and then you pay 20% of Part B, it actually breaks down to more than 20%. More like, depending on the amount of the bill, it could be 21%, could be 22, 23, 24, 25. But generally speaking, if you go inpatient, it's going to be slightly higher than 20% actually. Now, original Medicare is accepted by like 99% of all providers. If they accept Medicare, they're going to accept Parts A and B. Generally speaking, you don't have to worry about networks or asking if hospital or clinic accepts it. It's a good thing to ask, but generally speaking, it's accepted. So what's covered on original Medicare? Essentially inpatient and outpatient services that are medically necessary. So you can't get Medicare to cover just say you want to get a new nose. You want to go get that Jennifer Aniston nose just because you don't like the way it looks. That's not covered. Now, if you had an accident and so broke your nose, something like that, you needed some sort of reconstructive surgery there, then that could be covered there. So got to be medically necessary. What's not covered? Most dental care, including dentures, eye exams, eyeglasses, hearing aids, and exams. Now, on dental, if something didn't get caught, now it's turned into more of a health issue that's medically necessary. It might be covered there depending on what's going on. Acupuncture, massage, and cosmetic surgery is not covered. Chiropractic, be a little bit careful with that. The actual spinal manipulation, neck manipulation can be covered, but all the other treatments surrounding chiropractic is generally not covered by Medicare. We need the electrode type treatments, massages, acupuncture, that's not covered. So just be cautious and aware of that, chiropractors. So what's your exposure on Part A? This is where I was telling you about it could turn in a little bit more than 20% of the bill. So if you only have Parts A and B, every time you're hospitalized for days 1 through 60, that's $1,632 in a deductible. So that would be the amount that you would pay. Now, if you get hospitalized multiple times throughout the year, and those hospitalizations are separated by 60 days or more, you could pay that $1,632 multiple times. So if you go in the hospital, say for a couple of days in January, you come out and say June, you go back in for 3 days, you could pay that deductible both times there. Now, if you go in the hospital in January for a couple of days, you go back in the hospital a couple of days in February, now all of a sudden that is one benefit period. The separation of that hospitalization wasn't more than 60 days. So you're not going to pay that deductible of $1,632 twice in that scenario. So if you're there for an extended amount of time, you can see you're going to actually pay more over time if you're there those continuous number of days. Part B, what do you pay there? There's an annual deductible one time a year. For 2024, it's $240, and we think it's going to be around $250 in 2025. Outside of that, your doctor visit, outpatient services, surgical services, durable medical equipment, that's all 20% of whatever the bill is. So all this has Medicare has no stop loss. If all you have is original AB, there is no stop loss. So if you had $1 million bill, roughly you're going to pay $200,000. So that's why people get something in addition to original Medicare. We're going to talk about that real quick. What you see on the left side of your screen, where the green highlighting original Medicare, this is where you keep original Medicare A and B, and you add on a supplement prescription drug plan. So when you just have an original Medicare and you're looking for something else, think of it, you've come to a fork in the road and you have to go one way or the other. On the left-hand side of the screen, keep an original Medicare A and B, and you add a supplement that's in Arkansas. It's going to vary, start out as low as for a Plan G, which is the most comprehensive plan out there. It's about $136, $135, something like that. And then you add on a prescription drug coverage. That can be anywhere from literally zero per month if you're not taking very many medications or you're just taking a couple of low-cost medications. And it could go upwards of around $100 and literally anywhere between there. That will be dependent upon your medications, what pharmacies you use, and we have software to help us determine the right plan for you in that scenario. So keep an original Medicare A and B, combine it with a supplement, Plan G, and a Part D for medications. That's going to give you the most comprehensive medical coverage out there. If you can afford those premiums, that is what I recommend doing. If you can afford those without taking food or altering your lifestyle, I would suggest staying on original Medicare A and B. You don't have to worry about networks. Combine that with a supplement plan G and a Part D, you are good to go. The only other thing you might consider adding is if you need dental, vision, hearing coverage, cancer, stroke policy, something like that, it's also could be beneficial. So a Medigap policy, what is that's a supplement that we're just talking about, the Plan G. It's also known as a Medicare supplement. It helps fill the gaps of original Medicare. Those are sold by private insurance companies, and there's dozens of them here in Arkansas and other states. Same thing. There's literally dozens of them. We can find the right policy for you. We can look at the rate history of these companies, how they've increased rates over time, and we can get the right one for you. So what I have highlighted in here in this chart is a Medigap plan comparison. All these plans for supplements are regulated by CMS, which is the Centers for Medicare and Medicaid Services. Plan G right now is the most comprehensive. It's highlighted in the middle screen in blue. The plan on the far right, highlighted in blue, is Plan N. That's the second most popular plan right now. But if you look down to where all you see all the yeses, the only difference between, say, G is the only thing that you see a no on in G is the Part B deductible. So you are responsible for that one time a year. And then the foreign travel exchange will pay limits up to 80%. Quick story about my wife. She fell and broke her arm in Monaco on Mother's Day in 2018 or 2019. They don't accept American insurance over there. So we were in Monaco, one of the most expensive places in the world, literally. It was wonderful, but she fell and broke her arm, needed an ambulance ride. Spent 4 or 5 days in the hospital, had surgery. She had a compound fracture on her arm, upper arm, in a brace. They did not accept it, but they wanted payment in full before they would do anything. We were expecting 30, 40, 50,000 like it would probably be here in the US. It was $3,450. So we were able to pay that and get reimbursed for most of that once we got back and filed it on insurance. So foreign travel is typically speaking not a big issue, even if you have something going. So Plan G is the most comprehensive. The next most comprehensive plan is Plan N here in Arkansas. Plan N start at about 105, so they're about $30 less per month. But there are a couple of co-pay. Every time you go to the doctor or specialist, there's a $20 copay. Every time you go to the emergency room, there's a $50 copay. Those are the primary differences there. So Medigap in Arkansas also has what's called community rates. So what you could do as your rates increase over time, if you still remain pretty healthy, meaning nothing significant in the last 3, 4, 5 years, if you can answer no to about 20, 25 health questions, you can actually get reset to a 65-year-old rate literally every year if you wanted to shop around a little bit. So we can help you do that. So if you've been on your Plan F or Plan G or Plan N for a few years and you've experienced some rate increases, if you want to see if you can get reset to that 65-year-old rate, let us know. We can shop the market for you. We have many, many companies we can help out with there. So as long as you had no major medication additions or medical changes, and what I mean by medication, something significant, we can likely find you coverage at a lower rate. So Medicare Advantage and prescription drug plans. Every year, October 15th through December 7th, you have the opportunity to update your plan, change your plan. You can look at what's changed on the prescription drug side. And I could tell you this year, there are significant changes primarily on the prescription drug side of it. It's been totally revamped. So we're going to jump right into that. I suggest reviewing every single year whether there's significant changes or not, because your plan may have changed. It's very important to make sure your medications are on formulary. And what that means is every company has a list of medications that particular company will cover. Make sure they're on formulary, because if they're not on formulary, that means you pay 100% of the cost. So the other side of that fork in the road, if you decide not to go the original Medicare and add a supplement Part D plan, you're going to choose a Medicare Advantage plan, which actually combines your Part A and B into privatize. You're actually coming off of original Medicare and you're going on to a privatized company known as Part C. It typically includes Part D drug coverage if needed. And the only reason you would not need that is if you're a veteran or you have some sort of other medical or prescription coverage in place. So, a few more details. Let's compare supplement versus Medicare Advantage. On the left-hand side of the screen, you're going to see Plan G and combined with a prescription drug plan. First row there, and we're going to compare that to Medicare Advantage with prescription drug coverage. So the first row, your Medicare Supplement Plan G is typically going to have higher premiums, but there's no copays. The only thing you pay once a year is your Part B deductible, currently at $240. We expect that to be $250 in 2025. The only other thing that you're going to pay is your premium. On the Medicare Advantage side of that, generally there's no additional cost, no additional premiums. Then for everything that you do, basically outside of a primary care doctor, there's going to be either copays or coinsurance up to a MOOP. And MOOP stands for maximum out of pocket. Second row, on the Medicare supplement side, you have the freedom to choose any doctor, hospital. There's no networks. On the Medicare Advantage side, you're going to have to stay in network. If you don't stay in network, if you're on an HMO, you don't have coverage. If you don't stay in network on a PPO Medicare Advantage plan, you will have coverage, but it's going to cost you significantly more. Third row down, on the Medicare supplement side, there's no referrals needed. Well, there's no referrals needed, generally speaking, on both sides of that. So on the Medicare supplement, some routine services are not covered, like dental, vision, and hearing. On Medicare Advantage, those are usually included. Usually there's a fitness benefit included, like a basic membership at a gym. Usually there's some over-the-counter benefits. It varies from $30, $40 a month to $30, $40 a quarter, and upwards from there. And that's for vitamins, cold medicines, Tylenol, pain relievers, things like that. As far as foreign travel, sorry about that. On the bottom row there, it's Medicare Supplement Plan G, prescription drug plans covered anywhere in the U.S. Don't have to worry about networks. As long as the doctor takes Medicare, you're good to go with like 98, 99% of all doctors. On Medicare Advantage, emergency services are covered nationwide. You don't have to worry about networks if it's an emergency. And generally speaking, what insurance companies consider emergency is it life-threatening or not? So if you need to go to the nearest medical facility because you have a life-threatening emergency, go anywhere you want to. It doesn't matter on a Medicare Advantage plan in case of emergency. And in Arkansas, these are just the Medicare Advantage plans that are offered. Sometimes one may not be in a certain county, so these can be divided up by county, whether they're in your county or not. We can help walk you through that. We're licensed in the state of Arkansas and surrounding states, which means we're in every county in Arkansas. I want to make sure everyone knows, because of what's changing with prescriptions and what's changing on the LIS, which is a low-income subsidy or extra help. Sorry, I have a typo in the middle screen in the white there. That should say resource limits, LIS income and resource limits in 2025. Sorry about that typo. But if your income is below, as an individual, $22,590 in 2025, and your individual resource limit, which means available monies, that's money in the bank, checking, savings, stocks, bonds, cash value life insurance, things like that. If your resource limit is less than $17,220 and your income is less than $22,590, you can qualify for what's called extra help. And you can also see the numbers there if you're a married couple. This program helps reduce your prescription medication costs. And essentially what that means is your most expensive medication will be about $12.15. And generally speaking, less than that, like $1, $4, sometimes nothing. But if you fall below this income and resource limit, make sure to qualify or to submit an application. You can submit an application to the Social Security office. It's called a Medicare Savings Program. Medicare Savings Program. It's Submit your application. If you need help doing it, we can do it. Real quick, dual eligible, that means you are both on Medicare and Medicaid. There are some special programs, some special plans for you, and you can get some pretty significant benefits that will not affect your Medicaid eligibility. And we can walk you through that and get to the maximum benefits there. So what's changing for 2025? Mainly on the prescription drug side, but because there's so many changes on the prescription drug side, the carriers have also had to rearrange some other benefits that people are used to. So let's go through this kind of line by line here. CMS recently released a 100-page document outlining what's changed with Part D, the medication side. Number one, we're not going to do a 108 page. I'm going to summarize this for you real quickly. Stay with me for a little bit and we'll get through this. Gap or donut hole, as you've known, it has been eliminated. That is going away in 2025. Number two, your standard deductible is going to be upwards of $590. It may be less. So if your plan is less, you're going to pay less of the deductible. Your member out of pocket for prescriptions, there is a $2,000 cap for out of pocket for prescriptions. Now, what does that include? It's the deductible, copays, and co-insurance amount as far as out of pocket. It does not include your monthly premium. So if you have a monthly premium, and most commonly we see that on standalone drug plans, it does not include that premium. Very bottom line, insulin remains capped at $35 for a 30-day supply. And there's actually some pretty unique Medicare Advantage plans there are most counties in Arkansas that will cap it at 25 on those particular plans. So if you're diabetic, reach out to me. There could be some special plans with some lower copays available for you for insulin as well as like a specialist. Okay, since the donut hole's going away, that means we went from 4 different stages in 2024 to 3 stages in 2025. So on the left, you're going to see the annual deductible stage. That's where the member pays 100% of the cost of the drugs until the deductible is met. Generally speaking, that gets paid in January, February, March, usually the early part of the year. So once you meet your deductible, you're going to move to the initial coverage limit. That means $2,000. So that's when you pay their $2,000 of the cost of that. So $2,000 members pay their cost of the share of the cost, and the plan pays its share. The catastrophic phase, once you meet that 2,000, you move over into the lighter blue, catastrophic. That's where you pay zero. All of your medications are covered from that moment forward throughout the end of the calendar year, as long as your medications are on formulary. That's the big key. They have to be on formulary. All right, so 2025, we're also coming out with what's called an MP3/M3P/smoothing. What in the world is that? It is a payment plan. So if you're going to incur, particularly like in the first part of the year, some large out of pocket for prescriptions, they've come out with a payment plan. Think of it as levelized billing, kind of like utilities, to where you pay a monthly premium to your insurance company, and you don't have to pay anything at the pharmacy when you go pick up your medication. So it is something you have to opt into, but your deductibles, copays, and co-insurance amounts can be averaged over the remainder of the calendar year. So if you get into this plan in January, you're going to have 12 months to average it out. If you happen to wait until March to get in, then you're going to have 9 or 10 months, depending on what time of the month you get into it there. So there's some different strategies that we've already created and developed that could help you. So that's where we can help out. So what are the details of the payment plan? On the left, on the yellowish orange color, member communication. Number one, this applies to all Medicare Advantage plans with prescription drug coverages. It applies to standalone PDPs, which is standalone prescription drug plans. Get a drink here real quick. It also applies to retiree plans like state plans, public teacher plans. In the middle, You do have to opt in, and you can actually opt out. You can opt in or opt out any time of the year. So you can opt in January, you can opt in June, you can opt in September if that makes sense. You can also opt out anytime you want. So what happens here, members can opt in at any time, but if you miss 2 consecutive payments, you will be removed from the payment plan as 2 consecutive payments. That does not mean you're going to be removed from the plan itself, your prescription drug plan. It only means that you're going to be removed from the payment plan portion of that. You will still keep your drug plan, and you will still be responsible for those payments that you missed, but now you will start paying at the pharmacy when you pick up your medications. So on the billing side of it, on the right, no fees to set this plan up. There's no interest on it. Payments can be made via check, electronic funds transfer, which is a bank draft, credit or debit card, and payments may adjust as your medications adjust or medication changes or cost of medication changes. That's when you can possibly see a payment plan there. And we'll go over one other thing, that because of all these changes on the prescription drug side, on the Medicare Advantage plans, there's been some benefits that changes as well. You've seen some pretty significant and high over-the-counter benefits up until now. You're going to see some of those decrease in 2025. You're going to see some of the dental benefits decrease in 2025. And what's actually happened there is the Medicare industry has seen that on the Medicare Advantage plan. There's been $2,000, $3,000, $4,000 worth of dental benefits. The average person across the United States on a Medicare Advantage plan actually uses less than $1,000 worth of dental. So that's why they've lowered the dental a little bit. So there's also been some other copays like hospitalizations on many plans have increased this year from what we've seen. So we can help navigate all that. So if you would like more help, if you would like some personalized help from us, we are here. We are in Arkansas. Our main office, primary office, is in Conway, Arkansas. We prefer to meet here, but we can try to do our very best to accommodate you. We actually have some office space available to us by appointment in Little Rock, North Little Rock, and Bryant. We're not always there, so it's by appointment only. We can also come to your house and do it at your home. So if you are not able to come to our Conway office or Little Rock, North Little Rock, Bryant locations, we can likely meet you at your house. If you'll work with us and be patient a little bit, we can get to you. We also offer competitive Medicare Advantage plans. We offer all of the Medicare Advantage plans on the open market in Arkansas. We can shop your Medicare prescription drug plans each year to ensure you are paying the lowest price available for the upcoming year. We're accessible. We don't cost anything additional. You can do all this directly with the carriers, but if anything ever goes wrong, you call us. We'll be on the phone with them. We'll be solving that issue for you. You don't have to worry about that. Real accessible. We have our office phones, cell phones, emails. We answer our phones. We respond to emails. Personally, I have over 20 years of experience and a growing staff of individuals that assist us in providing service to you, our clients. We work for you, not the insurance company, and we hold no bias to any insurance company. We are independent. Again, we work for you. You will never pay us a fee. We get paid by the insurance companies when you enroll with the plan through us. Lastly, this is a picture of the office building. We are inside the Arnold Innovation Center in Conway, Arkansas. It's right downtown Tosuck Square. There's some parking available behind the building. There's parking available in front of the Chris Allen stage, also known as Simon Park. So conveniently located. So here's my information. If you'd like to scan the QR code at the bottom, if you'd like to set up an appointment, you can do it there on our online calendar. If you want to go to our website, if you want to call our office, here's the contact information. We would love to hear from you. We would love to help ease your mind with Medicare. We've done it time and time again. I had a lady the other day that was just so stressed out. She thought she was going to start spending a lot of money on her prescription drugs. Come out, we actually saved her some money from what she's currently spending. So our services are valuable. We can help you. We will hold your hand through the Medicare. We will answer questions today, tomorrow. We're here a month from now. We're here 2 months from now. We're going to be here next year to help you throughout your Medicare career. So I am Tommy O. Thank you for attending. If you would like our help, reach out to us. We want to help you. Thank you. Take care. God bless.